When you're a business that works with doctors and staffing and hospitals, and like we have thousands of placements that we're doing, it's really important that the reporting and the data that we're providing for reporting is accurate. At the end of the day, we need a tool that does exactly prove that the things we're doing actually make sense and work and are accurate. It's one of the two main things that made Datafold an easy win for us. I also was in the process of re-engaging with Datafold because it was a tech stack that I knew we wanted to be on because we had been pursuing you guys for a year. And I already felt like there was a pretty good working relationship with your sales team. And it was just about finding the right project, the right opportunity to present to our leadership team with budget to figure out. Every migration is different. Every company is different. Every process is different. And that flexibility, I think, is part of your secret sauce. There are other tools out there that do code migrations, that do code translation, but the secret sauce is having a team there that understands how that code actually works, that is helping manage and navigate that process rather than just spending your own engineering cycles trying to babysit an LLM that you haven't used before to do it for you. And then what? Then you manually check the results somewhere else. Your magic bullet is in fact magic. When we were doing our big SQL Server to Snowflake migration, we did a complete code freeze for over a year. It took 18 months. And we sat there with the entire data engineering organization. We would assign out a pipeline, go through this SQL Server pipeline by hand, translate all the SQL Server components into actual SQL in dbt and Snowflake, and test it and make sure it works. And then our QA team was using a Python script that someone wrote, downloaded both tables and did pandas data frame comparison. There was some awful thing that was not producing results that were easily consumable, but it was just good enough to make it work. We had maybe 8 resources from their team, engineering and QA, to help build out this migration. And that was actually our plan, was to leverage that existing team for the Modio migration, which turned into, let's not take 18 months to do this one. Let's do it in 6. The business was ready for us to spend close to $10,000 a week on consulting resources to do this for basically as long as it took. And we were thinking 12 to 18 months or more. And as the project developed and we were identifying and scoping the number of reports that were left and their throughput, we were thinking it was probably going to take even longer than that. The difference in Datafold was 20 to 30% of the budget, and it was going to be done within 6 months. When you present those kinds of numbers to the leadership team, they go, oh, yeah, let's do it. Like I mentioned, it's completely transforming how our QA team does their work and the trust that we can provide to our BI team. We can prove that this data matched at the time the migration was done and be able to prove it at any time after the migration is done. And that hands-off automatic validation and approval process made it so they could trust that the data matched and we weren't relying on an end user to UAT it or QA it. There was very little standing in the way of that going and being production ready. My advice to businesses who want to do this well is to take the last slide of our Datafold project proposal, which shows the overall 10,000-foot view of how Datafold works, the DMA process works. That whole process is the way to do a migration. And if you're using the right LLM and you have a data validation process, then run it through that process until it's done. Stuff can fall out and you can have humans look at it. But effectively, that's how I would recommend every migration go, because of how effective that is and how you're eliminating a lot of sources of human error, where if someone's not translating things correctly, if date formats aren't followed, you've got all these things that get in the way of providing an accurate migration. This is the future of migrations and AI and usefulness. The key factor that I've always had an issue with AI stuff is you need a way to prove it. You need a way to prove that what the AI says is accurate. You need a human being to review it, or better yet, when it comes to data, you need a way to check to make sure that that data matches. And that's really like the culmination of what makes the DMA really work. I don't have to guess. I know